What's up, guys? Dustin McDangles back here with another video, and this is the NHL Franchise Mode series with the Nebraska Bucks. And in today's episode, we've got a big one, guys. We've got the draft, we've got the re-signing phase, and then also free agents before taking a look at our starting lines for next season. And in this episode as well, we'll be taking a look at the Stanley Cup champions, all the awards, retiring players, all of that good stuff. But to start off, it actually shows the draft lottery results. Detroit, Anaheim, Vancouver. Vancouver moving up from 12 to 3 to get the number 3 overall pick in the draft, which is crazy. And we'll even take a look here at the draft class as well. But before we get into any of that, guys, be sure to drop a like on this video if you guys have been enjoying this series. And also hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future content. But without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and hop into this episode. Again, draft lottery results right there. We'll take a look at the draft class in just a second. I first want to get into the retired players and see who has decided to hang up the skates. And we've got some big-time players here. Jumbo Joe Thornton hanging them up. Alexander Ovechkin also hanging up the skates at the age of 38 years old. That is crazy to see. Ryan Getzlaf, Zach Parise, Paul Stastny. He was actually with our AHL team. He decides to hang up the skates. Jeff Carter with the Vancouver Canucks. Shea Weber hangs him up. Keith Yandel, Ryan Sutter, Dustin Byfuglien, Mark Giordano, Patrick Hornquist. That's kind of crazy. All three of these defensemen were in the Minnesota franchise, which is crazy. Nick Foligno, Bobby Ryan, Valtteri Filppula, Tyler Bozak, Andrew Ladd, Sam Gagner, Alexander Edler, Alex Goligoski, Mikhail Frolik, Andrew Cogliano, Blake Como, Mikhail Bogner, Carl Hagelin, Michael Grabner, Darren Helm, Cal Clutterbuck, Alec Martinez, Brain Coburn, Andre Sekera, Justin Abdelkader, Michael Delzato. We got some crazy retirees. Ilya Kovalchuk finally deciding to call it a career. Only played 315 games. That's kind of hard to believe. Justin Braun, Mark Stahl, Colton Sevier, Trevor Lewis, Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, Gunnarsson, Yannick Weber, Robert Bortuzzo, Chris Wagner, and then we've got a pair of brothers hanging up the skates, it looks like. Zach Ronaldo, Tyler Ferdune. Man, this is crazy. A lot of guys. Kevin Rooney hanging up the skates. I would think he's 31 years of age. That's not too old. Pumple, Carey, Archibald. Kind of crazy stuff as we look at the retiree players. And then I do want to take a look at goaltenders here. Who has hung up the pads, and Henrik Lundqvist hangs up the pads for the Blue Jackets. Ryan Miller, Brian Elliott, Kevin Poulin, who's only 34 years old, and then Eriksson here, 34 years old as well. So crazy stuff. He played one game in the NHL. That is sad. I feel bad for that guy. But those are the retired players. And then as we are waiting here, a couple guys will be coaches. Ovi as a coach. That'll be crazy to see. Coaching retirements. One of our coaches, actually, Burnaby Ace's coach, looks like he has retired, which is tough to see him go. We'll have to fill his shoes in. But let's go. Let's continue simming here. We don't have to interview anybody. Pro Scout on the line, not too worried about that. But before we even get into the draft, as you can see here, the Edmonton Oilers have won the Stanley Cup. Take a look here at the playoff tree and how they got there. They ended up beating the Buffalo Sabres in a clean sweep in the Stanley Cup final. Game 7, actually, in the Western Conference final. Crazy to see there. Flyers and Sabres in the Eastern Conference final. So let's actually take a look here at the awards. Edmonton Oilers back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. Man, that's tough to see. Obviously, they could have been 3 in a row, but as you can see there, we won in 2021, 2022. Flyers won the President's Trophy, so getting beaten in the Eastern Conference Finals, that sucks to see for them. Oilers, obviously, Western Conference champions. Sabres, the Eastern Conference champions. And taking a look here at the individual awards, Barzal wins the Art Ross Trophy. Who led the scoring at the end of the regular season. Crazy to see that. He also wins the Hart Trophy. Chris Letang won the Norris. I'm pretty sure he's also very old. Crazy to see that. Lady Bing went to Malkin, who's with the Minnesota Wild now. Calder went to whoever the heck that is, Stankoven of the Los Angeles Kings. Conn Smythe went to Pulivari. Vezina went to Carter Hart. Hollebuck won the last 2, so he's actually won 3 of the last 5. Crazy to see that. Hollebuck won the Jennings Trophy. He has also won 3 of the last 5 of those. DeKaiser wins the Masterson. LA wins the Jack Adams. O'Reilly, for the 3rd time in the past 5 years, wins the Selke Trophy. Barzell wins the Ted Lindsay. And Patrick Kane with the Maurice Richard Trophy. Taking a look here at AHL, I don't think any of our players won any awards, and it looks like they did not. So actually, we did get a goaltender award, which we've actually won 4 of the last 5 goaltender awards for the AHL. Team awards, as you can see there, Calder went to the Colorado Eagles. We won the regular season for the 4th straight year in the AHL, as well as the Eastern Conference. Division, I believe we also won the AHL North Division for the fourth time in 5 years. And obviously we've only won 1 Calder Cup in that time. So kind of disappointing the boys can't put it together in the playoffs. Rossi down to a 79. He wasn't 81 at one point. I don't know why the overalls drop so drastically. Crazy to see, but we do want to take a look here at the draft class before getting into the draft itself. And as you can see here, guys, top player in the draft, Evan Adams of the Portland Winterhawks of the WHL, 18 years old, shoots righty. He is a centerman. There's no weaknesses. This guy is supposed to be a Mikko Koivu franchise medium player, which is crazy. Stefan Lawton might be somebody we might be interested in getting. Zdeno Chara, he is a defenseman. Very D-heavy draft. I don't know if we will try and trade up. Obviously, we have got a lot of first-round picks, and if we can't get this top pick, honestly, I might go for this Stefan Lawton guy. He is 6'4". He is Zdeno Chara. He shot utilization, that kind of sucks. Or maybe we trade up. We already have offensive defensemen. Maybe we could draft a defensive defenseman. Mark-Edward Vlasic. So I'd rather have this Stefan Lautner from Germany, plays for Red Bull Munich. If anything, if we can't get the Evan Adams. So again, we have a ton of picks. This is the reason we traded for all of those players, or all those picks last year, is to try and move up in this year's draft to get a big-time player. And that is exactly what we are going to do. So we are going to hop into the draft. Detroit Red Wings, obviously, it's going to be a tough sell to try and get this top pick, but we've got a lot of first-round picks to work with here. So we've got 2 first, which, I mean, that is a lot. 24th and 29th, obviously not great when it comes to the picks themselves, but we've also got a couple seconds. I kind of want to see if 2 firsts and a second round is good enough for the first overall pick. It is not. I really want this kid, franchise medium. He would be our go-to player. 2 firsts and 2 seconds, not enough for the pick. I'm willing to give 3 firsts and a second for the first overall pick in this year's draft, and the Detroit Red Wings are going to reject. So that is a bummer. We're not going to be able to get the top player in this year's draft. Let's see if we can maybe get the Ducks first pick. Actually, I want to see if maybe we could possibly snipe Vancouver's. I feel like the Ducks might not want to get rid of theirs, so we'll try and trade up here. If anything, do we move a player? That's the real question. Boulette, I don't want to move. Maybe Forsberg? Ooh, actually, Forsberg would be a nice shout to possibly move for this first pick, because he has 6 years left. Let's try and see if Detroit would want that. And 2 first-round picks, that would be a great deal if we can try and get that to go through. He does have some high trade value as well. So we'll go down Forsberg, 86 overall. That gets that way up. And then we'll throw our top first-round pick here. See if this goes through. Trade is rejected. Again, this is good for the trade block. I'm okay with going 2 first-round picks, Forsberg for their first. Trade offer is way in our favor, and that trade is rejected as well. So let's go with the second round pick here as well. So Forsberg, 2 firsts and a second for the first overall pick in this year's draft. It is rejected. Worth their while. That is crazy. Is there any other players we could possibly move? We could maybe move Cirelli because he hasn't really been working out. He is 26 years old, and we're most likely going to move Rossi up to the NHL. And then Detroit would actually be over the player mark. So maybe take like a low player off their hands. Chris Tanev maybe. I don't know if this trade's going to go through. 2 firsts, Forsberg, Cirelli for a pick in Chris Tanev. And that trade is rejected. So most likely not going to be able to get the first overall pick in this year's draft unless we were to actually suck next year. So we'll send the first pick. He is an 83 overall franchise medium player. That kind of hurts. Not going to lie, that does kind of hurt. So we're going to try and trade up here for this third overall pick. Again, I'm okay with moving Forsberg. And that takes them over the cap big time. We're not going to be able to move Forsberg, so we're going to have to try and move our 2 first-round picks to just try and get up here and get one of these top players in this year's draft. We'll see if these 2 first rounds are good enough, and it is not. So let's throw in our second round pick to see if 2 first rounds and a second. Dang, that is interesting. Let's swap this with the Washington first round pick. Again, this is where it's kind of hard to wheel and deal if teams aren't willing to sort of work with you. And I don't think we're going to be able to move up super high unless we go all the way up to 8th. I don't see us going any higher. Let's see maybe if we can move up the draft here. So we'll trade our first. And let's see... Winnipeg's second round. See if our second round and a first is good enough to move up to 8th. Trade is rejected. Let's maybe see if we could throw in another pick because we've got a boatload of late round picks here. Let's see if maybe an extra 1 or 2 of those will be enough to maybe move up to 8th to see if we can get a decent player in this year's draft. Man, these trades are rejected. That's kind of crazy. So maybe swap second round picks here. So the Washington Capitals and then maybe take off one of the 4ths. See if that goes through. It does not. So let's add the Tampa 4th back in there. See if this trade goes through, and that is accepted. So now we've got a little sort of working magic here. Actually, let's back out. We kind of got to hurry this up. We've got a minute here to trade up for Vancouver's 3rd pick. It's all about getting a better pick here to move up and see if we can actually... let's see if we can make this a little bit quicker here and trade up for the Ducks' 2nd pick. I don't know if they'd be willing to trade their 2nd pick. Again, we'll throw in Forsberg. Oh, that takes them over the cap. We got to be quick with this, guys. We've got a minute 15 left here. Let's go first round pick. And that is a little bit better, I think, for them. First and a second. See if that goes through. Trade is rejected. Let's see. 2 second rounds and a first for their 2nd overall pick in this year's draft. It does not go through. Man, let's see. What about next year's 3rd round pick as well? Got 50 seconds here to try and make this trade work. Trade is rejected, so let's drop that. We'll add our other 1st round pick, the Winnipeg Jets pick, in here. We'll drop the 2nd. See if that works. Trade is rejected. Let's throw the 2nd round pick back in for the Nebraska Bucks. Can we get the 2nd overall pick? That is not going to work. Interesting. So we're not going to be able to trade up for the 2nd overall pick. Let's try and go for the 3rd overall pick. I really want that defenseman from Germany. I feel like that would be a great pick. So we'll throw in the 8th. And then we'll throw in the... Let's throw in the 2 first-round picks for their 3rd overall. That does not go through. We got 20 seconds here before this is up. We'll even throw in our 2nd-round pick, and the trade is accepted. So we get all the way up to 3rd. We get 2 first rounds. If they take the kid from Germany, they do not. So that's actually huge. That's actually huge. Who did they take? Oh, they didn't take our boy. Stefan Lautner. We can take him. I am very intrigued with this. This is an interesting pick. Goulet. He has no weaknesses. Ooh, this is tough. We already have Volchenkov. And I don't really want Van Riemsdyk. He's only top 6'4". We're going to need a defenseman, Lautner. Stefan Lautner, welcome to the squad. Elite, medium, potential 80 overall. That's perfect because he's going to fit right in for Edmondson. That's the other defenseman that went, so I feel like we got the better deal. Ooh, that one right winger we were going to take as an 81 medium elite. But I feel like sort of shoring up the back end, we've got Tavares, we've got Ahonen, Pietrangelo, and Jones. Now we've got Lautner, and I feel like we are pretty much set on defense. So we're going to sim up to our next pick, which is in the second round. See if there's any goaltenders out there. We did do a little bit better of a job scouting this year, I feel like. Olin Nolan, 2 years out. How did he do last year? Pretty decent. He is injury prone, which is interesting to see. I do want to take a look at goaltenders and see. We've got an elite low. We don't know much about him. He is 71st. This is the 61st pick, 5 years out. Let's take a look here at Darcy, 4 years out. Hybrid, 71st. I feel like we might want to take him. He's got a lot of weaknesses, no strengths. So maybe this year we maybe pass on a goaltender. Let's take a look here. I want to sort of sort this. Elites, 61st. This is the 63rd ranked kid. 4 years out, elite medium. We'll go for it. Shot in the dark here. And he is a top 9 forward medium. That's not terrible. Lamar, 63 overall. We'll sim up here to our next pick in this year's draft. 4th round. See if we can find any other guys. And this guy's actually fallen. Jan Darcia. I don't even know how to say his name. That's the goaltender, one of the goaltenders we were looking at. So we'll take him. See if he has starter potential. Medium starter, 58 overall. Not too terrible. Nice to have a goalie pick this year. On to the 5th round. We are sort of stacking up on prospects this year, which is actually really nice. Last year we didn't have prospects at all. This year we've got some Marcus Lundqvist. Is this the new Lundqvist? Do we take him? Do we take another goalie is the real question. He's five years out. His name is Lundqvist. We've got a lot of goalies. We're going for it. Another goalie. Lundqvist, fringe starter, medium potential again. All for good trade. Sort of stock here as we've got another goaltender. I'm not taking another goalie here. 5 years out. Real question is, do we find any gems? It looks like there are no gems to be found in this year's draft. Unfortunately, our scouts are still not that good. But we'll go ahead here, take one of the top players at least based off of this. Holmes, 233. 5 years out, elite low. See if we can get something out of him. Elite low potential. That's actually nice. Having that, again, nice trade bait for the future. I'm really happy with our defensive pick in this year's draft. I feel like that is an awesome pick. We got a starred player from our scouts. We are pick 211. This guy's 216, so we'll make the pick here. Sergey, elite low again. He is only 55 overall. But, you know, I'm happy with that. That's going to be good trade bait for future drafts. And again, Lautner at that top spot is huge. He's going to shore up the defensive end again. We did trade a lot for him, so we are expecting a lot. So we'll take a look here at the re-sign phase. We are going to have a couple scouts. We're going to have to sign a couple coaches. But let's take a look first here at the team contracts. I know one of our defensemen we're going to have to let go. But for this year, Ahonen, he is on the last year of his deal. We've got $17 million to work with. Ahonen and Byfield are on the last years of their deal, which is interesting. Trying to see who else. Again, Edmondson, we can let him walk because we're going to have the new defenseman hop in, Lautner, in his spot instead. So we'll offer him a max rookie contract, which will be nice to get him into the lineup. Alexander Steen, we're going to let him walk unless he wants a huge discount, and he does not. So we're going to let Alexander Steen walk. He was going to be an AHL player. Luis here, we could offer him a contract. He is going to want a 2-year, 2-way, and I'm okay with that. We've got him tied up. Engel here, he does want a low end of the bargain sort of deal, which I'm okay with. We've got a defenseman, top 4, potential low, and he wants a max rookie deal. We'll give it to him. Obviously, that's not going to really affect us much at all. And we'll let the other guys that we actually just drafted this year develop some more. Let's actually take a look in the system. We shouldn't have any other players really to worry about. I do want to take a look at our goaltenders. Sparks, Jones. We've got a goalie here. Man, that one guy that we drafted, Pouchot, 70 overall. That's nice. We might let him develop one more year in wherever he's playing, because we do have these 3 goaltenders. Obviously, the year after next, Sparks will be gone, so we can let him walk. Let's take a look back. Goalies at the NHL level. We've got Ben Bishop tied up. We might need a new backup goaltender because we only have $3 million in to Bishop, 3.7, which isn't terrible. So Stefan Lautner is going to sign. Luis signs. Engel signs. Grapp signs. And I believe that's all we really needed to worry about. Bolesky, we'll let him walk. Not too worried about him. And I believe that is all the players we really need to worry about re-signing. Again, we've got $17 million to work with. Again, we're going to have to worry about Ahonen and Byfield for next year, which we'll have to keep that in mind as we continue on with the sim. But other than that, everyone else is all tied up. Elliott, elite low left winger. We'll offer him. He wants a full max rookie contract. I'm okay with that. We'll see if he can develop at the AHL level. I'll even put him on a line, see what happens, or even just use him as some trade bait. But now I got to take care of the coaching and scouts, so I'll take care of that, and we'll get back to you guys here when we hit free agency. So here we are, guys, free agency. We were able to sign everyone we needed to when it comes to scouts and coaches. And here we are, guys. Mark Scheifele actually he is on the board of somebody we could possibly get. Tara Vinen also up on the board. I want to check and see if they are restricted. They are unrestricted free agents. That is crazy to see. We've got big-time players, Buznevich. And at the center position, I mean, we are pretty stacked. Scheifele, I mean, crazy year. He really killed us in the playoffs as well. He does fit forward line 1 in all power play lines. This might be somebody we want to try and go after. We would finally have that superstar player, or we could go after a top winger. He only fits power plays, which kind of sucks. Elias Anderson, he is very good as well, but doesn't fit any of our lines. $17 million to work with. Could give some of that, obviously, to Scheifele. Might need to give him a little bit more. Kopitar could be somebody we bring in for a year. He wants $6 million, although, which kind of sucks. Man, this is crazy. We got to go after him. But let's first take a look at goaltenders. Hellebuyck. So, $9 million for Hellebuyck. That's crazy. Matt Murray also up. I do want to try and get a better backup goaltender, which maybe we find in Tuukka Rask. Maybe that would be pretty cool. Get him in. Trying to think maybe who else we could possibly sign. Maybe a younger goaltender, such as this Stuart Skinner kid. Doesn't have the best of stats though. So maybe we do bring in Rask. He wants $2 million for 1 year. Is this Fleury? Wow, Marc-Andre Fleury, 82 overall. He wants a nice cheap deal, which could be nice. But man, something tells me 33 wins. How did Fleury do last year? He didn't really play much. Let's offer Rask a deal of 2.15 And then we're going all in here on Scheifele. I want a top player. We're going to offer him 12. We're going to offer him 12.5 for 5 years. Mark Scheifele. That could be clutch, guys. Hopefully he signs with us, because if not, I feel like our next best bet, Malkin, is 77 overall and wants $9 million. That's insane. He will not get picked up by anybody. That is absolutely insane. Other players we could possibly try and go after. Bank could be nice, but again, we're pretty set, I would say, at like the winger position. Bouvier, or however the heck you say his name, he is up. That could be a nice little pull there. Ho-Sang also could be nice, but again, we're pretty much set. We just need that like top go-to player at the forward position. Again, we had Rupo last year. He had a great year, but we just threw the kitchen sink at Scheifele. Hunter Jones, more trade offers and a second-round pick. I ain't giving that up. More draft picks and things flying. But Tuca is going to reject. We've got a full roster. Oh, we need to get rid of somebody. We need to get rid of somebody, because if that's the case, Scheifele is also not going to sign. Scheifele would also not sign. So let's see. Can we release anybody? Oh my goodness. We need to trade people ASAP. Give me just 1 second. So we were able to get things moved around, guys, and we are able to get big boy Mark Scheifele from the Winnipeg Jets in free agency for a whopping $12.5 million, guys. We still have some cap space here to actually work with. As we can take a look here, you can see we've got $7 million worth of cap space left to work with. So we've got our top player, and Scheifele is 31 years old, which kind of sucks. Rupo's also up there. He could play left wing as well, so that's actually really nice. So I want to try and look to sort of move Forsberg, if possible, for a big-time trade or a big deal to maybe get a better top sort of line left winger. But at the same time, we could maybe move him out for draft picks and bring in maybe a better first-line left winger at a cheaper rate. Such as Buznevich. He could maybe come in. Don't really know if he fits any of our lines. So maybe we do try and go for a trade. Warren Fogle doesn't really fit, so we'll take a look here, but I do want to at least go out and get a backup goaltender. Again, Tuukka Rask could be our person, but Varlamov, 86 years old. He is 1 year younger and only wants an extra little bit of money. So we'd really have that 1-2 punch between the pipes, and I feel like that is actually the move I do want to try and make. So we'll offer him 2.6. Actually, I want to offer him for 2 years. He wants only that much, so we'll offer him 2.25 for 2 years at 84 overall. If anything, he'll maybe go down in overall, so I'm not too worried about that. So let's actually take a look, because we should have enough room for one more player. I did trade away one other player. Andrew Shaw we actually got rid of as well, to sort of open things up, and Varlamov does sign. So we've got Bishop and Varlamov now, sort of that 1-2 punch of the older goaltenders. See if we can have some magic there. And another trade offer for Hunter Jones for Granlund. Kind of want to see where Granlund's overall is at. I know they tried trading him last year, and he is an 83 overall and has dropped. So we're not going to go for that. I don't want that. We'd also be giving up a second-round pick. So let's see here if we can try and trade Forsberg and get a better first-line left winger. So big trade offer here for Veselian from the Winnipeg Jets. Philip Forsberg and our Pushor would go to the Jets for Veselian here. He fits all forward lines. He does only have 1 year left, which is going to be tough. Although, let's see here. I kind of want to take a look here, because they also have Kyle Connor, who doesn't fit our top line, but he has 2 years left on his deal, and he's a little bit cheaper. Bottom six forward lines, all penalty killing versus a 1 year player, but he fits all lines. Man, that's really tough. I kind of want to try this, see if this goes through. Forsberg and Pushor for Veselian, and the trade is rejected. Quite interesting, and I'm surprised we're even doing a deal here with the Jets. Again, they've knocked us out the past couple years of the playoffs. And I'm going to see if the second round pick plus Forsberg and Pushor are good enough to get this deal done. And we get Vesalian there, guys. I don't know if that was the right move. Right now we've got a lot of cap room actually to work with. So we'll actually go ahead here, advance up. And I actually noticed that we could possibly have another trade offer for one of our older goaltenders, possibly with the Vancouver Canucks. It looks like they were wanting to get rid of DiPietro. Let me go back to Vancouver, take a quick look, and this trade actually looked very intriguing. If we go up to goaltenders, their top guy, obviously Holtby, but right there for the starter, medium potential, is this DiPietro kid. He doesn't have the best stats in the world, and he only has 1 year left, so maybe we hold off on him. I didn't realize he only had the 1 year left, so we'll hold off on him, and we'll continue up here to the season, and then we'll take a look at our lines and see what we got. So here we are, guys. The initial line look right here, and that top line, Vesalian, Scheifele, and Kase is actually deadly. Kind of want to move Volchenkov up here to our second pair, and our team is absolutely stacked right now. Byfield, oh man, he doesn't even fit the second line, so we're going to have to leave him there. Man, his line fit is actually better on the second as well. But I kind of want to just leave it right there for now. Roy actually down a line. Can we even move him up? We can, and that actually is a little bit better, although we don't have a centerman now on that bottom pair. Let's see if maybe we can move anything around here, and that actually works. So we've got +1 on pretty much all of our lines, and that +3 on the top pair, which is actually filthy. Again, I don't know the overall. Sometimes they drop, sometimes they don't. It's just interesting how that all works. Boulette, honestly, the biggest surprise out of anyone. Here are our top pairs. Again, this is what it looks like right now. We'll put Lautner there on the second pair. We'll move our boy Ahonen back to the top. Although, would I rather have... Yeah, we'll leave it at that right there. Lautner, yeah, Lautner works best on that second pair. Again, really nice to see him in there, unless we do this, put this around, and no, that does not work. So Tavares is going to have to chill there on that bottom pair. 20 years old, Ahonen up to an 85, which is really nice at 21 years old. So again, our team is looking very stacked right now. Take a look at the goaltenders. We've got Bishop at an 86 and Varlamov at an 83. That is a little bit better of a tandem than what we had last year. So take a look here at our scratched lines. Players, Sorelli scratched right now, so we could possibly look to move him out. Appleton also scratched. Let's take a look here at our NHL team, or AHL team, I should say. Hunter Jones, actually, a scratched player right now. I kind of want to know why, and that is because we've got Vivian and Sparks. So we'll actually rather have Jones in there, obviously getting some touches between the pipes. And then taking a look here at the starting lineups, Rossi up to an 82 overall, and right now he wouldn't really fit our NHL lineup, so maybe we try and move him out as well. But right now our teams are looking extremely stacked right now. Super excited for this upcoming year. Let's actually take a look at the defense. Defense is looking very stacked at the AHL level as well. So again, they're going to definitely run with a chance to sort of do a lot better than they did last year. But our top line, Vesalian, we'll just call him Christian, Scheifele, and Kase. That top pair is going to be deadly this year, guys. I'm excited to see what they can do, as well as our second pair, also very good. Definitely want to try and upgrade Zaician, because Byfield, I'm surprised we can't put Byfield up on this second line. It just doesn't work for some reason, unless we move Volchenkov down, and I really don't want to move Volchenkov down. 22 years old. They're both 22. Volchenkov has also been playing very well. Let's take a look here at his career stats. He's been playing great. He's got 202 points, 106 goals. Again, been playing great, and I'd rather not sort of move him off that second line. I'd rather have him continue to develop. And if anything, we can always move Byfield up and move Barry Boulette off that line or whatever. And then Rupo, obviously, he's interchangeable here actually with this top pair. So we'll do the +3s. That's actually really nice. I'm really excited about that. Man, I didn't know we could do that. So that's really nice. Our top 2 pairs are actually sick. Honestly, this team is sick. I'm really excited about this year. I don't know how we're going to do, but again, super excited. Take a look here at our special teams. Again, looking absolutely stellar. Can we even get a +3 on any of these is the real question. We cannot, so that's okay. Roslovic up to an 83, which is nice. Check out our power play, penalty kill +5. Byfield doesn't fit our PK, which is kind of interesting. So we'll move him off the power play, or the PK, I should say. We'll put Roslovic in there, and that's a 0. So, because he's already on that top pair. So we actually need to move. Let's throw Roy. He's not a 2-way player. Let's throw Rupo in there. And that's okay right there. Oh, Rupo's on the other one as well. So again, we'll get this all sorted out. We'll put Barry Boulet in there for now. It's a -1, which is interesting. What if we get a power forward in there? And that's a -1 as well. So I'm okay with that right now. But again, our team is super stacked. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments, how we did with the off-season acquisitions in our draft. I'm super excited with the team. I hope you guys are too, but I hope you guys have a good one. And as always, stay dusty.